Gandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. For our short but meaty gospel on this first Sunday of Lent, let me give you 3 quick points for reflection. The first point is this: temptations are tests necessary for growth. So it is interesting to note that it was the Spirit that led Jesus to the desert to be tempted. So the Spirit did not lead him away. The Spirit led him to the desert. Why? Because Jesus needed this in preparation for his ministry. After he faced Satan head-on for 40 days and conquered him, Jesus was equipped for the challenges of the ministry. And we can learn something from this. In our educational system, tests are necessary. Quizzes prepare us for the exams. Exams prepare us for the challenges of the job. And definitely, quizzes are hard. Exams are difficult. But they are necessary for our preparation, for our careers, for our life. For example, why do seminarians have to go through at least 7 years of philosophy and theology? And they have to pass so many final exams, compress, and oral defense panels. Alam ni Brother Marty yan. It is so that we won't be ignorant in the faith. In the same way, spiritually, temptations come to us all the time. Of course, we should not go out and seek temptations. That would be ill-advised. But when temptations do come, we should not be afraid of them. Temptations are not sent to us to make us fall, but they are there to strengthen our minds and hearts and souls. They are not meant for our ruin, but for our good. They are meant to be tests from which we emerge better soldiers for God. So, in the face of temptation, if we keep on choosing God, choosing what is right, it will become second nature. So much so that choosing good will hardly become a struggle. That is why we fast. In this Lenten season, we fast. We try to deny ourselves. Of course, we are tempted to break our fast. But every time we say no to breaking that fast, we become stronger. So that next time when temptation comes, we can face it, we can overcome it. And so it's good to ask ourselves, how can I use the temptations that come my way to strengthen my commitment to the Lord? The second point for us, when we are tempted, we don't have to fight it alone. Our gospel describes Jesus as being tempted in the desert among wild beasts, but it also says that angels ministered to him. And so Jesus was not alone in the desert. Angels who were sent by God would come and provide him comfort. They would give him strength. And this is very important for us. Sometimes we fall into temptation because we try to face it alone. We think we can do it by ourselves. You see, God knows the temptation is difficult. That is why we have the help of the angels. We have our guardian angel. That is why we have the help of the saints. So, to combat a supernatural devil, we need supernatural backup. And this is where prayers come in. Do we pray to angels and saints to help us, especially the Blessed Virgin Mary? But in another sense, God sends also angels into our lives in the form of people to help us. Some priests fall against temptations as well. Oh, tao lang kasi ang mga pare. That is why our seminary formators remind us of the need for spiritual direction even after ordination. Or to have at least someone we can trust who we can talk to. Because it helps to tell somebody of our struggles so that this person can help keep us accountable. And so that is why we need to strengthen our relationships with people that we trust. I know of this particular girl who was married, who was tempted to have an affair with an office mate. Well, it was a good thing that she had a good and trusted friend who kept on warning her of the consequences. So much so that she was able to cut off this pending relationship early, and she was able to save her marriage. And so it's good to ask ourselves, do I call on the help of the angels in heaven and on earth whenever I undergo the test? The third and last point for today. After the storms of our life, God gives us a chance for a fresh start. Our first reading talks about the great flood which devastated the earth because of the sinfulness of man. But Noah and his family, together with the animals, survived the deluge inside the ark. But the survival was not the end of it. When the floods subsided, God made a new covenant with Noah, promising that the waters shall never again become a flood to destroy all mortal beings. The rainbow was a sign of God's fidelity to this covenant and a fresh start for the human race. Now the challenge for the people who survived was to no longer revert back to the old sinful ways, but to use this opportunity to have a new life, a life lived in fidelity to God. So sometimes if we look at our own lives, we survive terrible trials. But after we weather these storms, do our lives change? Do we recommit ourselves to God and remain true to that commitment? I remember meeting this inmate from Bilibid prison who was given a chance for a new life when he was released from prison on parole. So when he spoke to me, he told me how terrible it was inside the prison, for how many years he struggled inside, that he was very blessed to be given another chance. But shortly after his release, he again molested some minors, committed a crime, and was arrested once more. What a waste of an opportunity. This Lent, we are also given a chance for a fresh start. But will we make the most of it? So it's good to ask ourselves, how have I used the crises I have weathered to start anew? And so 3 points for our reflection today. First, temptations are tests necessary for growth. Second, when we are tempted, we don't have to fight it alone. And third, after the storms of our life, God gives us a chance for a fresh start. And so I leave you with the 3 reflection questions. Maybe after this Mass, you can take time out to answer any or all of these questions. The questions will be posted on our Facebook page. The first question is, how can I use the temptations that come my way to strengthen my commitment to the Lord? Second, do I call on the help of the angels in heaven and on earth whenever I undergo the test? And third, how have I used the crises I have weathered to start anew? Let us spend a few moments in silence to reflect on the gospel.